policy and economic growth. Developed countries have better working systems, not because the essential workers don't go on strike, but because they have better working policies and considerate funding to complement the work of essential service workers. On a final note, ladies and gentlemen, it is ironical to the ears that the sermon of the essential service workers argument rests on shrinking the rights of a group of people who are deemed so important. So while my opponents have come in a propaganda of persuasive subjugation, let them know that the arguments will never be enough for stripping essential service workers of the right to strike. From the Premier Faculty, my name is Olaide Bolaji.
Can you jam your hands together for the second speaker from the prestigious Faculty of Arts? DJ. Now we are about to have a plot twist in the Jawa script. We're about to have a plot twist in the Jawa script. If you have been around for the preliminary rounds, you would know that after the first and second speakers, we are done with that round and we'll move on to the next. However, this being the quarterfinals, we are going to be having the rebuttal round. The rebuttal round entails a 1-minute speech delivery by any of the speakers from the supporting and the opposing side, essentially to rebut whatever fact, logic, or content the other side has presented. The time is 1 minute. So the idea is just to rebut and a way to earn more marks in the competition. Jowo, are we ready? Are we ready? Good. Faculty of Renewable Natural Resources, we're waiting for you in it. Right about now, I want to quickly appreciate our sponsors and their giveaways present here today. If you are here today and you have a friend who wants to listen to Jawa, however cannot be here in person, do ensure you tell them to visit strideradio.com, as it is being aired live. .net, like mosquito net. Okay. strideradio.net. strideradio.net. We are live on strideradio.net. Also, we have a giveaway, a Kilishi giveaway. Do we have Dilish Kilishi in the house? Dilish Kilishi, are you in the house? We are about to, okay, he's coming shortly. We'll run his giveaway when he comes. Now we have another giveaway by Technicon NG. Mr. Speaker for RNR, is 1 minute you are talking for. 1 minute. You have spent 15 minutes writing rebuttal. Technicon NG's giveaway. We would run the Technicon NG giveaway after the rebuttal round. If you are not too tired, jam your hands together for the representative from the Faculty of Renewable Natural Resources. 1 minute. 1 minute.
My opponents have argued today that today's debate is about freedom, and we agree. But whose freedom exactly? What is the point of freeing one man or freeing one doctor when doing that we'll be chaining 40,000 citizens? Ladies and gentlemen, that is not wise. My opponents have argued that we should rather restrict some of their rights. But ladies and gentlemen, we have already said that no matter how you see it, restricting the right of essential workers will be banning something some way somehow. So whether it's a partial ban, total ban, a ban is still a ban. My opponents have said that that instead we should, that today's debate is about letting the government do everything for these workers, show they won't go on strike. But they've forgotten that human wants are still insatiable. So even if you do something for them today, they will still want something tomorrow. Even if you do that one tomorrow, they will still want something next week. So human beings normally are like Oliver Twist. Their wants can never finish. Thank you.
There are three logicalities in my opponent's speech. One, it is unbelievable that because the ILO suspends the right of essential service workers, the basis of argument is unnecessary. Today's debate topic starts with should, which means it is a question of the necessity of the freedom of essential workers to go on strike, despite the essentiality of their work. Logic. Two, my opponents have debated the unnecessary by emphasizing on the consequence of strike action. Today's debate is not about strike action being an automatic and arbitrary tool in the hands of essential service workers, but rather there should be an option made available to them, because it is strike, after all, is the last resort. Three, the first speaker stated that Nigerian army are part of essential services. According to trade disputes, Nigerian armies are not part of essential service workers. Four, how is it possible to say that because some rights apply to some group of people, it should not apply to some group of people too? What is the point of fundamental rights when it is not fundamental to everyone? Ladies and gentlemen, the facts are overwhelming, but my opponent stands underwhelming. Thank you.
Jam your hands together for the representatives from the Faculty of Arts and the Faculty of Renewable Natural Resources.
That was awesome.
Now we'll be going on to the second round because, as the saying goes, in the words of a very wise philosopher, time is of the essence. Do you get? Good. A wise philosopher said that.
Who was the wise philosopher that said that? What's his name?
Ayodeji, I think Ayodeji Balogun or something.
Okay.
He was a philosopher of art. He graduated with a master. He's one of those things. You know him.
He's one of those things.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to the next speakers, there are 2,000 naira voucher giveaways here for 5 people. So 5 people will win 2,000 naira. Yeah, first 5 people would win 2,000 naira voucher giveaway now. All you need to do, all you need to do is very simple. Technicon NG, can a representative from Technicon NG be somewhere in front? All you need to do is follow Technicon NG to win 2,000 urgent 2K. Follow Technicon NG, Technicon TECH Tech NI Con CON. Technicon NG. Follow them on Instagram and Twitter. When you have done that, send
A screenshot to the number. When you follow them on Instagram, all you have to do is send a proof, which is your screenshots.
Follow them on Twitter and Instagram. Send a screenshot to, I'm calling out the number now. Should we call it together?
Yeah, sure.
1, 2, ready, go.
080
999 25. Wait. Call your own, I'll call my own.
080
999 22554. Call your own. 080 999 22554.
554.
So you send a screenshot that you follow them on Instagram and Twitter to that phone number, and you could be one of the lucky winners to win
2,000 naira voucher giveaway.
urgent 2K. What about
I guess
now?
you're wondering what Technicon is about. They offer quality and affordable repair services for phones, laptops, and accessories.
Ladies and gentlemen, The next round is between the Faculty of Dentistry You remember what I
love
said?
that.
Remember what I said, the one of Jowo? That I said, naturally, dentistry is supposed to be winning Jowo. Think about it.
Think about it.
Think about it.
Jaw
War.
war.
Right about now, we're having the Faculty of Dentistry versus
The social sciences.
the Social
Who's
Sciences.
excited? So we have the first speaker from the Faculty of Dentistry, Ade Igbe Olanrewaju. Put your hands together for Ade Igbe Olanrewaju as he comes on stage, please.
Madam Peace suffers from fulminant hepatic failure. If she does not get a liver transplant, she will die in 6 months' time. She will stand a chance at survival if only she could beat the 1 year waiting list for access to the next voluntary donor. Sadiq, a military officer, signed a contract that if he died from war, his organs should be sold to lift his family out of poverty. A simple solution to save Madam Peace and respect late Sadiq's wishes would be a legal market for voluntary organ sales. Ladies and gentlemen, my opponents today have a problem with Sadiq monetizing his organs to save his family. For Sadiq, a wasted life, a devaluation. For Madam Peace, an unfortunate termination. All due to my opponent's opposition to a just compensation. What an unfortunate situation. The Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy defines organ sales as 1. Paying people immediately for their organs. 2. Paying people living now for rights over their body when they die. And 3. Paying relatives for transplant rights over the bodies of their loved ones when they die. Long story short, while we understand that we cannot change the date of death of Sadiq, we are only saying that this sad occurrence can still be a blessing to him while he's alive or to his relatives when he dies. So, while Sadiq's soul is resting in peace, his organ is living in man. And how should voluntary organ sales be made legal? The voluntary sale of human organs should be made legal because it saves lives. According to the Organ Procurement and Transplant Network, there are over 160,000 people on the transplant waiting list in the US alone. 7 of them would have died by the end of today, and every 9 minutes, another person is added to the list. Legalization of voluntary organ sales will increase organ supply and save more lives. Haba, even God understood the need for organ sales as he bought and saved our lives with the blood of his only begotten son. Voluntary organ sales should be made legal because it protects human rights to bodily autonomy. According to the United Nations Population Fund, bodily autonomy is the right to make decisions over your body, life, and future, and everybody has a right to bodily autonomy. Yet, my opponents might come here to say today that even the right to bodily autonomy has its limitations. But as long as we all know that organ donation is legal, you will agree with me that the right to give your organs is not the problem. My opponents just have a problem with compensation. So, they are just like toxic family and friends who like free services but frown when they have to pay for those services. Furthermore, the World Health Organization estimates that 100,000 kidneys are traded on the black market worldwide annually, with 1 organ being sold every hour. This means that before the end of today's program, 5 organs would have been traded illegally on the black market. Voluntary organ sales should be made legal because it reduces organ trafficking. Although my opponents might come here to say that a legal market does not eradicate a black market. However, a legal market reduces the need for a black market as people are more likely to sell in a market that is safer and cheaper, particularly when regarding organ sales. So you see,
when you've been given access to a house and its contents, you don't go sneaking in or jumping fences. And if this does not make sense to my opponents from the social sciences, then they need to adjust their lenses. In an attempt to use their reggae to spoil our blues and rhythm, my opponents might come here to say that legalization of voluntary organ sales would mean that people from richer countries will benefit more from poorer countries. However, according to a 2003 policy proposal by Charles Erin, in a legal market, sales should be limited to a particular geopolitical area, with only people from that area being allowed to transact in organs. This means that it will be impossible for Mr. Buju from Peru, San Francisco or Germany to get an organ from Mr. Kwame who just flew in from Miami. So, just like a syringe in the hands of a social scientist, that point is useless. Furthermore, they might argue that allocation of organs will be biased towards the wealthy, excluding the poor who might also need the organs. However, according to the second policy proposal by Charles Erin, in a legal market, there should be a central public body that will be responsible for distribution of organs, as well as charitable purchase of organs for those who cannot afford it. Hence, direct sales are banned, and any other argument my opponents could have on hand is merely a contraband. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, in today's argument, we have made it clear that while we understand the damages of a non-legalized market, legalization under a regulated system is a step in the right direction. So, no matter how many times my opponents might listen to terms or Wizkid, they will never get the essence.
Sciences. Put your hands together, guys, as we call on the first speaker, Amori Adebisi.
Judges, the audience, far be it to proceed that we do not agree that the voluntary sale of human organs is currently in practice. Far be it to proceed that it doesn't perhaps save human lives. However, in looking at the detrimental effect of legalizing the voluntary sale of human organs to the society, we say no to its legality. To legalize, according to the Black's Law Dictionary, is to make lawful, to authorize, or to justify by legal sanction. For clarity's sake, an article titled Human Organs and Organ Systems, published on LibreText, states that the human body contains 5 organs vital for survival, which are the brain, the heart, liver, lungs, and kidneys. Distinguished audience, to put things in proper perspective, 3 important questions should be asked. 1. Is the voluntary sale of human organs really voluntary? In a report published on BBC on the 20th of January 2016, it was revealed in Iraq that have increasingly targeted the country's poor, making it a new war for organ trade across the Middle East. Hence, those who sell their organs in every society are the poor. But do they do this voluntarily? Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines voluntary as anything done or given because you want to, and not because you are forced or influenced. Going by this definition, it might interest you to note that as against the principle of altruism and decency, where people donate their organs on the basis of affection and free will, majority of these vendors do not sell their organs because they are happy about it. Rather, due to challenging situations, often attributed to poverty and the desire for money. Audience, making lawful a system that allows people make decisions out of desperation can be likened to a post-UTME candidate who after 4 years of failed attempts resorted to biochemistry just because he couldn't make it into medicine and surgery. Judges, we know this decision was not based on goodwill. Rather, out of the desperation to be a student of the College of Medicine. 2. If the voluntary sale of human organs is legalized, would the regulated market system make a difference? It was reported in an article on WashingtonPost.com on 5th of January 2015 that even in regulated market systems such as that of the Ministries of Health in Philippines and Iraq, actors still heavily rely on independent matchmakers and intermediaries, surgeons and hospitals, still collaborate with organ vendors who peg their trade based on deceit and exploitation. So you see, legalizing the voluntary sale of human organs will not eliminate the black market, rather compete with it. In Nigeria, for instance, despite regulating the oil and gas industry, many people still resort to the black market to transfer commodities such as fuel, gas, and kerosene. Judges, esteemed audience, we can see that if the purpose of a thing is not achieved, it is only but questionable. 3. Will legalization bridge the access gap between poor and rich recipients? Esteemed audience, please note that there are current laws guiding the medical practice, and these are enough to cater for organ need if followed. Principle 8. On the 2018 Istanbul Declaration on Organ Trafficking and Transplant Tourism states that organs should be equitably allocated within countries or jurisdictions in conformity with objective, non-discriminatory, and transparent guidelines guided by clinical criteria and ethical norms. Judges, the principle of equity states that we give to every man according to his need. Sadly, what we have today is given to every man according to his seed. Now, imagine a scenario between Ugo and Badmus. Two patients in need of a kidney transplant. Badmus needs a transplant desperately, but because Ugo, with a less severe case, has ego, he gets a faster and successful transplant. So you see, instead of bridging the gap in healthcare access, we're only widening it and building a deal that poor people will fall into and become victims of. However, poor people's lives matter too. Judges, if my opponents come here to human organs, will ensure thorough screening processes and proper post-operative care. What they do not know is that according to Dr. Michael Paulson, a resident physician at Boston Medical Center, these vendors are only catered for a duration of 2 years, after which they are on their own. That is not all, as these vendors experience a long-term health risk. In a research conducted by him on 100 kidney donors in June 2013, it was revealed that in many cases, the organs got damaged, or in other cases, developed cancer. So you see, legalizing the voluntary sale of human organs does not remove the long-term health risk of the transplant. It does not effect a change in the status quo. In conclusion, 3 important questions have been asked, and here are the results. 1. Is the voluntary sale of human organs really voluntary? Obviously, no. 2. If the voluntary sale of human organs is legalized, will the regulated market system make a difference? Obviously, no. 3. Will legalization bridge the access gap between poor and rich recipients? Obviously, no. However, if my opponents still insist on legalization, let them know that they will be doing more harm and havoc to humanity than good. So, should the voluntary sale of human organs be legalized? Obviously, no.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Are we here today as speakers? Obviously, no. I mean, did you hear that?
If you don't get it, forget about it.
Forget.
Right about now, we'll be having the second speakers. Emma, calm down. The second speaker from the faculty of dentistry. Make some noise for Tashala Almadu Amina.
Primum non nocere. First, do no harm. This is the basic principle of the medical profession, as it puts the good of the patient before any other interest. Esteemed audience, the proposition by my opponents from the social sciences is a clear enemy of social services that will only lead us to social stagnancy. The voluntary sales of organs should be made legal because it increases the chances of getting a perfect organ match. The director of blood and marrow transplant primum non nocere. First, do no harm. This is the basic principle of the medical profession, as it puts the good of the patient before any other interest. Esteemed audience, the proposition by my opponents from the social sciences is a clear enemy of social services that will only lead us to social stagnancy. The voluntary sales of organs should be made legal because it increases the chances of getting a perfect organ match. The director of blood and marrow transplant of the University of Minnesota said 1 in 5 of his patients die due to the use of imperfectly matched organs. Legalizing organ sales will solve this problem as it encourages individuals to donate their organs, thus increasing the organ pool and ensuring that a perfect match is selected. A perfect match, like a brown belt with brown shoes. A perfect match, like a black belt with black shoes. And not a mismatch, like this topic and my opponent's views. According to a report published by Grandview Research in January 2021, the global organ transplant market size is valued at $8.4 billion. The pharmaceutical companies, surgeons, nurses, and even the theater cleaners all get paid. On the other hand, organ donors face the risk of excessive bleeding, pain, and even death, according to Mayo Clinic. Even if not for the organ itself, it is only logical to compensate the organ owners for their time spent and inconveniences. Not just a thank you for coming and God bless you. My opponents might consider it selfish to receive payment for organ donation. However, Adam Smith, a renowned social scientist, once said, our individual need to fulfill self-interest results in societal benefits. Simply put, what might seem like a self-centered choice could benefit society in the long run. For every Shola that sells her bone marrow for beliefs to fulfill his dreams and build a better society. These are basic things we expect my opponents from the social sciences to understand. And it is appalling that though they claim to know the most about the society, they seem to understand the least. They might even say that legalizing of organ sales will encourage individuals to remove their organs for criminal purposes. But let them know that every new policy is accompanied by laws and ethical codes of conduct for deterrence. In fact, we already have the Nuremberg Code of 1940, the Helsinki Declaration of 1964, and the Belmore Report of 1979 that guide every surgical procedure on the human body. So, we are not advocating for the Oshodi or Agege spare parts kind of market that their ill-researched stance might make them think. Finally, judges, as a dental student, I spend my days in the four walls of a hospital. I have seen hope fade away and people desperately gasp for a second chance simply because they cannot find an organ for transplant. So you see, our opponent's 5-minute speech was not only a waste of time, but stands for the waste of lives. Unfortunately, they'll be coming up for 3 more minutes to waste more time and to tell us how to waste more lives.
Dentistry, make some noise! Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to the second. See, before we call the second speaker for Faculty of Social Sciences, get your rebuttals ready. Rebuttals is 1 minute. Get them ready. Right about now, we're going to be having the second speaker for the prestigious Faculty of Social Sciences.
Put your hands together as we call Olaoluwa Tawakali. Put those hands together for the second speaker of Faculty of the Social Sciences. In
2017, TheAtlantic.com reported an 8-year-old boy died at the Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center in August 2013. The boy drowned and sustained severe brain damage. The doctor determined he would never wake from coma. So, his family decided to keep him off life support and sell his organs. It was reported that the doctor administered a dose of fentanyl to ease his suffering. Further investigation revealed that it's the fentanyl that killed him, raising questions as to whether the fatal dose was meant to quicken his death and make his organs more viable for sale. Judges, this wicked act is what legalizing organ sale can propel, and that must be found out. To start with, whether organ sale is regulated or not, the supply of human organs and its demand will never be in equilibrium. This is the case in Iran, the only country with a government-regulated market system. The legalization of organ sale in Iran has resulted in a stiff competition between vendors, making Tehran, the capital of Iran, a kidney eBay. The walls of various facilities are littered with ads by organ vendors, according to a report by TheGuardian.com in 2012. Judges, organ scarcity is an healthcare challenge and should not be treated as an economic problem. Thus, legalizing organ sale as a panacea to organ scarcity is nothing but a round peg in a square hole. My opponent should know better. Moving on, my opponent might assert that legalization of organ sale will make transplants faster. They might cite an article from startnews.com in 2016 that stated that Iran has been able to effectively eliminate its kidney transplant fleet. Judges, what my opponent do not know is that according to a report by Iranian news agency Fars News in November 2020, Iran University of Medical Services signed a 10-year contract with Spanish Donation and Transplantation Institute DTI in order to effectively implement the organ procurement management guidelines published by DTI, which is funnily enough not based on organ sale but organ donation. Also, it is folly to attempt the provision of another solution when there is an existing and more effective solution that only needs proper implementation. The opt-out system, where people's organ are automatically donated unless otherwise stated. Judges, it may interest you to know that Spain maintains a global leadership of over 28 years in organ donation and transplant rate. Spain has been able to effectively account for 6% of organ donation and transplant rate, despite Spain accounting for only 0.6% of global population. Countries like Australia and New Zealand that have implemented the Spanish model have reported significant increases. Knowing this, it will be logically incoherent to implement another policy when there is an effective policy that only needs proper implementation. In conclusion, many lives have been damned, all in the name of organ transplant. A team audience, legalizing organ sale will only make the common man more vulnerable. Our children ruined, all in a bid to salvage property. Our adults easily lured by a juicy offer. Judges, if we support my opponent to advocate this legality, then posterity will never cease to judge humanity. Thank you.
Jam your hands together for both speakers of the Faculty of Dentistry and also the speakers from the Faculty of Social Sciences. Jam your hands together for them. Before we go to the rebuttal rounds, I'm here to announce to you that you can win a movie ticket. I repeat, a movie ticket for two, you and your babe, or you can win 20 gig of data. Or you can win vouchers to eat Chef Cab's food. Or you can win 5,000 naira cash. Once more, you can win a movie ticket for two people. You can win 20 gig worth of data, Chef Cab's vouchers, or 5,000 naira cash. Now, to be a part of this, all you need to do is visit www.crowd.com and sign up. And when you sign up, the winners will be selected randomly. Crowd is spelled CKROWD. CKROWD, crowd.com. Register and you can win either a movie ticket for 20 gig worth of data, Chef Cabs voucher, or 5,000 naira cash.
Also, we have another giveaway sponsored by Betal Designs. And for this giveaway, all you have to do is follow Betal Designs on Instagram or Facebook. Betal is spelled as BEZALEL_designs.
So let's move on to the rebuttal round, 1 minute each. The rebuttal round. And the first speakers, Faculty of Dentistry. Jam your hands together for them as they come forward.
Just like a barber's chair, my opponents have successfully danced around this podium without making a point. My opponent's argument that a market in organ sales will compete with organ donation and altruism is a fallacy, as the presence of one market does not compete with the other. For example, there's a market of used clothes through Bend Down Select, yet people still donate their used clothes. There's a market for lawyers to work for pay, yet lawyers still work pro bono. There's still a market for paid hospital workers, yet hospital volunteers still work till today. So you see that even the greatest philosopher will be devastated by my opponent's lack of logic. Furthermore, they've argued that a legal market is immoral because it reduces human beings to just organs and eliminates their choice. However, what my hypocritical opponents will not state is that whether for voluntary donation or for voluntary organ sale, they still view human beings as a source for organs. Our stance, on the other hand, empowers these human beings with the right to industry and dignity. Like a man on a treadmill, my opponents have taken many steps today, but they never left a point.
Jam your hands together from the speaker from the Faculty of Dentistry. We'll be having the speaker 1 minute also from the Faculty of Social Sciences. Jam your hands together for.
My opponents have again argued that legalizing human organs will help protect human lives. However, judges, the point of contention in today's debate is not whether humans have the right to sell. Rather, it is about whether giving them such rights is right. And like we have proven earlier, it's not. 2. My opponents have also argued that legalizing the sale of human organs will help save lives. Haha. Judges, multiple research have shown that people who give out their organs begin to develop health issues after 5 years. Well, my opponents must know that human organs are not teeth, they are 36 in number. My opponents have argued that the voluntary sale of human organs will eliminate the black market where humans are sold illegally. However, this is a result of poor research on their part, because according to 2015 Washington Post countries that have regulated human organ sales in Philippines and Iran still rely on independent matchmakers, an indication that legalizing will only lead to a competition between the black market and the legal market. Thank you.
Put those hands together for the Faculty of Dentistry and the Social Sciences.
Your body de pakamisi ule. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to the next round. Jam your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Right about now, we'll be moving on to the competition between
The Faculty of Economics versus the Faculty of Agriculture.
the Faculty of Economics versus the Faculty of Agriculture, and their topic is, should big pharma retain full patent rights in an health crisis? Pharma there means pharmaceutical companies, oh. That's what pharma there means, oh. So should big pharma retain full patent rights in an health crisis? Are we ready?
Are we ready?
School of Economics, are you ready?
If you're from the Faculty of Economics, make some noise!
What's in my door? Faculty of Agriculture, are you ready? Okay, the first speaker from the Faculty of Economics, jam your hands together for Phil Aniemeke.
Ladies and gentlemen, just last year, I read an article about a virus spreading in China, and within a few months, it became global. Before I knew it, I was asked to stay at home all day. Cities were in different stages of lockdown, economies were on the standstill, and face masks became a thing, and that is a health crisis. Some of us resorted to remote work, TikTok became popular, and Big Pharma, yes, big pharmaceutical companies sprang out as a result of the full patent right. So what then is the patent right? According to healthaffairs.org, patent rights can be defined as the legal right that gives exclusive rights to produce to the inventor of a product for a number of years to encourage innovation and maximize investment. You see, this patent right gives the big pharmaceutical companies the chance to spare no expense, give it all it takes, spend billions, yes, billions of dollars, according to WashingtonPost.com, to produce drugs that help solve a health crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, the School of Economics will be saying, yes, let the big pharmaceutical companies retain their full patent rights, especially in a health crisis, as these costs do not magically disappear, but coupled with economic stagnation, these costs are subject to inflation. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand that the big pharmaceutical companies are responsible for creating drugs that help protect the human health. It is also important to understand, however, that these farmers are businesses with shareholders and staff. They have to pay these staff and spend billions of dollars on research and development to maintain the cycle of innovation that is necessary for the healthcare system. Moving on, in 2019 only, according to an article published by the Congressional Budget Office, it was reported that the United States pharmaceutical industry spent a whopping $83 billion on research and development. You see, as high as these figures may sound, they do not necessarily affect the big pharma, as because with the full patent right in place, this causes them to have their assurance and their guarantees that their investments will be maximized. Moreover, my opponents, these farmers, should know that it is counterproductive for a man to reap what he has not sown. And if just anybody can harvest the crop, what then is the incentive for the farmer to plant? If just anybody can recreate an innovation, what then is the incentive for a firm to innovate? So you see, the absence of full patent rights in a health crisis is in itself a crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, my opponents might come here today with an argument that the abolishment of the full patent rights will cause an increase in the availability of drugs in the market. But they are wrong, because it is one thing to remove the rights from a drug. It is another, however, to make that drug available to all. Let's take, for example, Coca-Cola. One company, just one company, according to an article published by manufacturingglobal.com, is reported to have 1.9 billion users of its products in over 200 countries every single day. So you see, what makes a product designed to serve is not that it is available, but rather that it is accessible. And access is not availability, because without distribution, accessibility is just an exercise in futility. Esteemed audience, my opponents might come here today to give you emotional stories on how lives are lost in a health crisis, and to paint the big pharmaceutical companies as just hungry corporations that only aim to make profits. But because you and I are rational beings, we will not be swayed, but we will listen to facts and logic, and these are facts. According to Makedri.endo, it is reported that the process of getting drugs from their chemical formula to our hands is quite complex. You see, there is the research and development stage, there is the patenting stage, the discovery stage, and most importantly, the quality control stage. You see, this quality control stage, if it is not properly handled, will cause a loss of lives. I mean, 100,000 loss of lives. According to an article by TheGuardian.com, it is reported that 250,000 children die every single day as a result of fake and substandard drugs. This, in the first place, is the reason for the establishment of the full patent rights. Let's assume for a few seconds that I agree with my farmer's arguments and we abolish full patent rights. Let's have FEMA producing a drug, spending months and billions of dollars into research and development to find a cure. After finding this cure, because they do not have the full patent right, firms B and C go into the market and start producing the same drug. What we'll have is 3 firms running a rat race to get the drug first to the market. What happens then is one of these firms will skip one of the stages in the production cycle, which is most probably the quality control stage, and this will lead to death. So you see, if in a health crisis, this kills 1,000 people, my opponent stand will kill 1,000,000 people. Ladies and gentlemen, at the beginning of this debate, a question was asked: should big pharma companies retain their patent right at the end of a health crisis? To conclude this debate, I shall ask the following questions. 1. Do the costs of research and development magically disappear during a health crisis? The answer is no. 2. Would the abolishment of full patent rights in a health crisis cause the production of drugs that help to solve a health crisis? The answer again is no. 3. Should full patent rights be abolished in a health crisis? The answer is no. And lastly, will anything save my opponents today from their current crisis? The answer is no. From the prestigious School of Economics, I am Phil Animige.
Can you continue the sponsorship? Them can confirm the next thing. It's just
DJ, bring it down. So if you don't register on Crowd, you will see this either at the front seat, or you can take this anywhere from a representative of Crowd out there. The things that you can win when you register on Crowd: movie tickets for 2. That means you and your bae, your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your friend. 20 gigabytes of data, Chef Carbs vouchers, and 5,000 naira cash. All you have to do is register on Crowd. Winners will be selected randomly. Also, we have another giveaway here for Betal Designs. All you have to do to win this giveaway is simple. Follow Betal Designs on Instagram or Facebook, and you get to win 2 shots. 2 shots as in Shokoto, not 2 shots of Drinko. So you get to win 2 shots when you follow Betal Designs on Instagram. All you have to do is like their last post, comment, like and comment, basically, and winners will be selected randomly as well.
The next speaker, right the way. Everything.
DJ, bring it down. Put your hands together as we call upon the first speaker of the Faculty of Agriculture, Kolawole Oluwaferomi.
The first speaker from the prestigious Faculty of Agriculture, jam your hands together for Kolawole Oluwaferanmi.
Monopoly is the domination of an industry or a sector by one company to the point of excluding all other viable competitors, according to Adam Hayes, an expert and Wall Street financial writer. But while the monopoly, which is the point of a patent, is profitable